That we go through cycles, and right now we're in the cycle of what we would say the death cycle, meaning these beings are in control, and it's their narrative that's running the world. We want to dress like them, we want to put on their clothes, we want to eat what they eat, we want to behave like them, and they're saying you don't realize that you were the gods and you got everything. So they want you to discard everything so that they can also take it and write themselves into history, because they don't have a history. They've got to write themselves into history, and they use the Bible and the Quran and these books to write themselves into history when they really wasn't here. And it's going to take people like ourselves to keep doing what we're saying, to take people like GKTV to keep filming these sort of things and putting them out there so that our children never forget, and our adults never forget, and they'll always make sure they teach their children.
African Holocaust is a key component in reparations. Some people think the reparations is a waste of time. How do you feel in relation to African Holocaust and reparations, Kahun?
Okay, reparation. Our thoughts on reparations, not that we're against reparation, but if I'm gonna...
There was empires in Africa called Kush, Timbuktu, where every race came to get books. My success to you, even if you wish me the opposite. Sooner or later we'll all see who the prophet is.
Welcome to GKTV, the UK's #1 conscious platform. You're here with your brother Dua Mutev and inside the HolyQubtic-Church of the Black Messiah, UK. We just listened to a fantastic seminar with the man I'm about to introduce to you, Kahun Montu Tar, explaining how black people, African Caribbeans, Nubian Melanites are fueling their own African Holocaust. So without further ado, we're going to say namaste to the Kahun of the HolyQubtic-Church of the Black Messiah, UK and Europe. This is Kahun Montu Tar, also known as the Reverend Dr. Horace Wright. Kahun Montu Tar,
Namaste.
excellent lecture.
We try our best.
In regards to African people fueling their own Holocaust, could you just give us a brief synopsis of what you just discussed and how you are trying to wake up our people, explaining how we are fueling the African Holocaust?
There's so many things that we're doing, from the little things what we're buying and supporting, from the what's happening in Africa, the way we're living, that's perpetually keeping us in a certain situation. So we don't realize it because it's a day-to-day thing that we're doing. And I was just showing light to the little things that we're doing that keep us in this manner. And if we see those things, then maybe we can stop and say, okay, let me make a change, make some difference. You know, at the end we showed little things again, what we could do to make changes. So it was about showing the things that's happening worldwide, the things that's happening close to home, that we're dealing with and what we're encountering every day, and the little things that we can change that will have an effect in the future for our people.
A lot of people in October, in February, in the UK, in the US are familiar with Black History Month, and they're probably thinking, oh, this HolyQubtic-Church of the Black Messiah, what they're talking about African Holocaust. When we talk about this African Holocaust, what's the importance of us acknowledging an African Holocaust, Kahun?
Well, we at the HolyQubtic-Church of the Black Messiah here, we every day, every week in day, we speak about our story, our plight, our history. So once a year should I say, for a month, instead of saying Black History, we say African Holocaust Month. Like I said initially, people don't see us and what we went through as an Holocaust. They'll see it as a slave trade, not realizing, no, it was a Holocaust that's taken place and still taking place now. So we need to recognize, show the world and our people. Now some of our people will say, yeah, but we don't need to see this. Haven't we seen this enough? Haven't we heard about it enough? I say this, the Jews never stop saying what they went through. They make movies on it. Every year they make sure that they remind their children and themselves, and we've got to take that same idea, and make sure that we never forget. So we take this month, and we're not disrespecting the Black History Month, it's just that we do Black History all the time. We're saying though, for us, this is African Holocaust Month, and I think really a page like this should be taken throughout the world, because we should never stop talking about our plight.
As you rightly said, Kahun, a lot of people would say, why do we need to dwell on the negative? Why do we need to dwell on, they probably think, oh, slavery, but as you rightly pointed out, they call slavery a trade, so it makes it sound all right and everything was legal, well, it was legal at the time and above board at the time. But as you're rightly saying, we have gone through a Holocaust, but the Holocaust, whenever we hear that word, is firmly fixed with the plight of the Jewish people, what they went through with the Nazis. But what we want the world to understand, the African Holocaust, or African people have gone through this not only through the Nazis, but the Jews have done it to us as well, right? Or the Israelis are doing it to us now.
The Chinese have done it to us. The Chinese have done it to us. The Arabs have done it to us. The Caucasians have done it to us, right? Every other race has invaded our land and done it to us. So we've got to turn around and say, no. We've got to recognize that there's been a massacre constantly happening to our people. It's still happening today.
That's what we want to emphasize as well. A lot of people talk about a Holocaust as if it's in the past, but when we look at the plight of our people, not just in the UK, but also in the US today, especially in the US, yeah, we can say that Holocaust is
still happening today. They're killing our people today, right? Police are killing our people, right? Arabs are enslaving our people, right? Chinese invading our people. They're still attacking our race, and we don't see it. It's like I said the other day, we've lost sympathy for each other, we've lost empathy for each other. We have apathy. Apathy means if it doesn't happen to me, then I don't care. And that's how we're living today. If it's not on my doorstep, if it's not on my household, if it's not my family, if it's not me, then I don't care. And they use that against us, and they're smiling when we behave this way. So we say African Holocaust Month, we remember, we always remember. And we're not just talking about the Holocaust, because this series was called The Key to Unlocking the Mind. Even though it was this month, but we're saying, look, these are the things we got to always remember, and these are the things we need to use in order to go forward.
In order to go forward, as you says, one of the things is for Africans of the diaspora to start being interested in Africa. Not only is to start being in Africa, to get to the stage, as you said, where Black History is a week by week, month by month. It's not just a 1 month thing here in the UK or in the US. At this present time, in the last couple of years especially, Black History Month, a lot of our people seem to be dropping the book. It seems like we're spoilt here in the West. A lot of people seem to be another Black History event, not really embracing it how we should be embracing it.
Remember, well, a brother mentioned a question, asked a question earlier saying, what has Africa done for me? In a sense of, and that's how they're seeing it. What has Africa done for us? Instead of saying, well, no, that's home. I've got to do for home. So we've got it all mixed up, and we've been given the narrative of the Western ideals and thinking the way they think. So we're saying, well, they ain't done anything to us, so why should we care? Not realizing, well, if they take your home, you have nothing. So we've got to now say, okay, we've got to teach our children, and it's important. And that's where it starts from, the family teaching the children and making sure the children always remember Africa is home. The Indians never left home. When the British left them and they colonized them as well, they grabbed back their religion and they kept going. And they were over here and they kept fueling back home. They continued. The Chinese, when they went through their opium wars, and when they got rid of the British, they still grabbed onto their religion and they built China again. The Japanese were bombed. They still hanged on to their Shintoism and they rebuilt their Japan. When the Western society left us, we grabbed their religion, their society, and now we're in a situation where we don't even respect our own home. It's a sad state. So yes, we've got to constantly be talking about our thing, and don't apologize. Be unapologetic, as you say regularly. Unapologetic about what we teach and who we are, and make sure our children know that too.
The interesting thing that you showed in the lecture, Kahun, was how every other race right now is grabbing African culture, grabbing African features, yet our people are running away, throwing it away, and grabbing everything that the other races don't want. It's a mixed up world right now, right?
Yes, it's a... You got to remember, we've taught many times that we go through cycles, and right now we're in the cycle of what we would say are the death cycle, meaning these beings are in control, and it's their narrative that's running the world. We want to dress like them, we want to put on their clothes, we want to eat what they eat, we want to behave like them, and they're saying, you don't realize that you were the gods and you got everything. So they want you to discard everything so that they can also take it and write themselves into history, because they don't have a history. They've got to write themselves into history, and they use the Bible and the Quran and these books to write themselves into history when they really wasn't here. And it's going to take people like ourselves to keep doing what we're saying, to take people like Gotkush to keep filming these sort of things and putting them out there so that our children never forget, and our adults never forget, and they'll always make sure they teach their children.
African Holocaust is a key component in reparations. Some people think the reparations is a waste of time. How do you feel in relation to African Holocaust and reparations, Kahun?
Okay, reparation. Our thoughts on reparations, not that we're against reparation, but if I'm going to be running around waiting for you to give me back something that you took from me, or pay me for something that you took from me, then I'm back in that thing of I'm waiting. We've got to stop waiting. We've got to start doing.
Power concedes nothing without demand politics.
Yeah, that's true. So we can't just sit here and go, yeah, well, I'm going to march and you got to pay us back because you paid the Jews and you paid them, but you got to pay us. We're like, okay, we know that once we sit here, you'll never pay us. You never give us. That means you're going to keep me here for as long as it takes to make sure by the time you say here's something, I've got nowhere to go spend it. Meaning, I've taken Africa, so now I can give you money, because when you go back to Africa, I'm ruling Africa. So then they can give you, they can say, okay, 20 years from now, while they're ruling certain regions, there you go, now you've gone back to Africa, but now they're ruling. Instead of us saying, well, you know what, let's go back home, let's build back home, let's take stuff. The Asians took and went back. They took stuff and went back. I'm saying it that way because
they manufacture and produce everything, and everybody's everything.
So we've got to now take stuff and say, well, okay, we can produce stuff, we can do stuff, and have an effect on the economy and become part of the table. If we don't, we're going to sit there constantly waiting with that hands out, that they're never going to give. Let's forget the hands out, or at least leave it there while we're going to do something else.
Okay then.
So it can be there, but let's not dwell on this.
Or depend on it.
Yeah, let's go and do, because once you do that, they're never going to respect us.
Fundamentally, as we're coming to a close, we're going to wrap this up. Right about now, Africa is very popular with each and every single so-called first world nation or superpower nation. The USA, the Chinese, Russia, the Russians, the European Union. Everybody right now, the Arabs, they're all fighting for the continent of Africa, right?
Yeah, right, because it's the breadbasket. Africa has all the minerals. It has all the land that you need to grow anything you need to grow. It has all the resources. And it's about resource. Even when you go into your Bible, it will tell you there's a certain chapter where it goes into Genesis and the gold was good in that land. Why are they talking about gold? Resources. We understand resources, and we have the resources, and we're not saying to ourselves, but hold on a minute, let's lock the door. Let's hold our resources and talk to me if you want the resources. Instead, we're letting everybody come in and give us peanuts and giving it away so that we can be like them. It's a sad state. We've got to try and make a difference by igniting that fire within the mind that will let our children carry the torch a little further. What Gotkush and we've also got to do is make sure that information is constantly flowing. Never stop flowing information. They put the web out the internet, and they're making it like, well, the web is all against us. No, we've got to use that tool and reach our people.
Finally, the Holy Qubtic Church of the Black Messiah, growing, and these lectures that you had today, and if anybody listening to this interview is interested in what you say, how can they get in touch, get involved, or maybe find out a little bit more of what the Holy Qubtic Church of the Black Messiah is about?
Well, we have a website. You can go to the HolyQubticChurch.com, and you can go on the website. We've got the Facebook, the Holy Qubtic Church Facebook. We've got Instagram, Holy Qubtic Church Instagram, and you can come to the seminars. We're here in Tottenham for people in London, and that we're situated at 399 High Road, Tottenham, and that's N17 6Q QN. We're also in Bahamas. We're also in America, in South Carolina. We're in Florida. We're in New York. We're also in Trinidad. We're growing. People are grabbing this, and it's starting to happen because they realize they want something. We are the only religion that's saying Africa. I mean, this is an African religion. We're not just saying it. We've actually gone back and saying, no, this was our original religion. This is the religion of our people that we had, that they came and took the template of and made their religion, and made it so bad that we now want to throw away our religion. No, this is our religion. This is our way of life. This is our culture. You have to have a religion before the culture. So our religion birthed our culture, birthed our way of life, birthed what we now live by. So we're embracing back our religion, and it's spreading worldwide, and it's supposed to do. This is for us, our people. Does it mean that we hate white people? No, we don't hate white people. We're just saying, you've got yours, we need ours.
And with that, thank you very much, Kahun Montu Tar. Excellent lecture. Yeah, enjoyed it immensely. And we look forward as well to speaking with you some more. And also the Rev, AJ Varma. When's he back in the UK? So our listeners, our viewers can know.
He'll be back.
He will be back soon.
He'll be back soon. He'll be back soon.
Okay then. Thank you very much, Kahun Montu Tar. You're with GKTV, the UK's #1 conscious platform. I'm Dua Mutev and Ankh, and here at the Holy Coptic Church of the Black Messiahs, Unlocking the Mind African Holocaust series for October, being wrapped up by the Kahun Montu Tar. It's been a pleasure. They've really looked after us, and make sure you check out the Holy Coptic Church of the Black Messiah each and every Wednesday between the hours of 7 and 9, and each and every Sunday. What's that, Kahun? 10:30 to
11 till 1:30.
11 till 1:30, but they finish at 3:30. Thank you very much, Kahun Montu Tar. Thank you very much to all who may be catching this recording, and make sure you check out the Holy Coptic Church of the Black Messiah for all your essential, unapologetic African information, or an African religion from an African perception and perspective with an African Messiah. Namaste.